So I remember going out there the first play of the game, and in Denver, it is rough up there. If you haven't been prepared,
It's the altitude.
the altitude is crazy. So I go and run up and down the court, and I was super tired coming out of the game. Pop put me back in the game, and I drive to the basket, and Nate Robinson tries to steal the ball. Nate goes and runs into my right knee again, like literally takes it out as I'm going to the basket, and I'm hobbling back. Pop calls a timeout and says, "Corey, what are you doing?" I said, "No, I'm fine. I just got hit. All right, go sit your old ass down." So I go sit down, and while I'm sitting on the bench, my knee literally swells up.
Oh, God.
While I'm on the bench. So I'm sitting there like, wow, man, this is it. Like I knew at that moment that it was time for me to hang up the shoes. So game is over, walk in, and I was like, man, like I need to talk to somebody because my knee is really bothering me. I see it literally swelling down. I pull down my knee sleeve, pull it back up. You could just see the swelling. And the guy said, "Hey, Corey, you okay?" I'm saying, "Yeah, I'm okay. I had a little bang with my knee. I'm all right." So pull. "Oh, man, like what happened to your knee?" Because it swelled up like a balloon. Yeah. Sat down, said, "Hey, we need to talk to our orthopedic guy and see what's going on." I'm like, man, I'm not about to go through this again. In my mind, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, I just had knee surgery the last 3 years. I do not want to have this again. And so I go and sit in the locker room area. We're in Denver, and they're visiting the locker room. And I say, "You know what? Something told me, Corey, you got to go and tell Pop that it's over. You're done." So I kept saying to myself, no, it is not done.
You didn't want to give up.
I didn't want to give up.
Yeah.
Standing there, sat there again. "Hey, you need to go talk to him." So I get up, go talk to Pop. Pop was like, "Hey, Corey, I don't think you're done yet. I think you can, let's see about your knee. We get back to San Antonio. If you need to have something done to it, just take, I believe this year we're going to win a championship. So I want you on this team." And I said, "Pop, man, I will love nothing better to end my career winning a championship. But just to be honest, this is the first time in my life that I basically am giving up. The first time that I felt like I just couldn't do it because of my knee." And he just said, "Are you sure?" I said, "No, I'm not sure." And but I think this is the right decision because my knee is messed up. And at that moment, I knew I probably had to have surgery. And I ended up having surgery, 5 months after that had happened. And walked out of there, had my head down, couple tears went down my face, and I just kind of wiped it because it was, Tim Duncan sitting there, Manu, and a couple of guys. And I was like, wipe my face, like, "Hey, Corey, you all right?" I said, "Hey, man, guys, it was a pleasure, to see what the San Antonio model is about, how this organization has worked and won so many championships and how the organization leads with so much character. I just truly appreciate being here." And they're like, "Man, what's going on?" I said, "Man, listen, I hurt my knee again, and, I'm just going to call it quits, and this is going to be my last game." So I left there, never forget, went into the hotel, had the blackout blinds there, stayed in the room for 3 days. 3 days stayed in the room, blackout, because I'm like, wow, what I have trained for my entire life, and I feel like I'm probably one of the most well-conditioned athletes on the planet, and here I am with another knee injury, and I can't play anymore, and now it's over. So to your question, I wanted to bring it around full circle, is that part of it was like, I would say, more the dark period, because I didn't want to retire because I felt like I had so much more left to give to the game. And after I sat in there for those three days, and I was feeling sorry for myself. And at that time, I remember talking to God, like, "God, just tell me, what do I need to do now? Give me a better revelation of what myself is, so I'm not just relying on the sport, but I'm relying on you for more of a direction." And after that, I remember going home and trying to figure out what I wanted to do next with my life, for life after basketball. And after that, I remember going home, basically feeling sorry for myself again, and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, after basketball. And here I am. I went to practically every single program that the NBA had. Right? Hey, we want you to go to these programs so you could be ready once you're done playing the game of basketball, and we're going to give you all of these opportunities. And, I went to Stanford, got a business degree because it was all part of the NBA program. Went to every single program.
So
because
NBA was supportive after
They
everything.
were very supportive.
That's awesome.
While you were in the NBA. Like, they were really supportive,
awesome.
right? A lot of guys have, experience, like, once you're out of the NBA, you're out, to be completely honest, because there's so much stuff that is happening, the turnaround, that they can basically at times forget about you. And so here I am doing all these programs. I'm like, man, I felt like once I was done that you guys are really going to support what I was going to do. So for me, I kept plugging away. And I remember, this is something that I tell my kids, where I tell kids that I, train, or people in general. I remember one of my friends, his name was Keon Doolin. Keon Doolin at the time said, sometimes a delay is not a denial. So you are in a process, Corey, that this is the delay for you. You've put in all of this work. You've talked to all of these people. You've put yourself in a great position. But right now, this is a delay, but it's not a denial just yet. So, you're waiting 2 or 3 months trying to see, what position you're going to go. And the NBA is telling me, hey, we're going to let you know, or some other avenue say, hey, we'll give you an opportunity here. And it didn't pan out the way I expected right when I was done. I felt like I was investing in the right way, but I wanted more. I wanted to still be close to the game.
It's hard to let go.
It was so hard to let go of that part, because that was part of my life. That was the whole basketball.
It's almost part of your personality too.
Yeah,
right?
and a lot of times, with professional athletes, this is in all sports. We have a surreal lifestyle that we deal with on a daily basis, right? Where, where you want to eat, they got it for you. Where you want to go, they got it for you. Hey, you need something, you just call them. It's everything is always taken care of. But when you make that transition away from the NBA and away from that specific sport and that spotlight, the real world that you guys experience on a daily basis, the hustle that you guys have been able to build what you're doing, it turns around full circle for those guys. So regardless on how much money that they have accumulated over that time, they have to build another skill set. And so that was one of those parts that I felt like, wow, I need to build another skill set that I feel that I would actually love to do, that can bring some other income in, but fulfill me the way I wanted to do it. And I went to an actual basketball game, went to the Clippers basketball game, and a guy by the name of Ralph Lawler. Ralph Lawler was the longtime play-by-play announcer for 40 years with the Clippers, and I'm sitting courtside, and he walks by. He said, "Hey, Corey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good." He said, "Corey, maybe you should do TV." I said, "Oh, okay, that sounds cool." He said, "No, scratch that. You have a face for radio." That's what trying to make a joke. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, Ralph. You trying to
face for radio.
Yeah, I was like,
He's trying to be slick.
I'm like, Ralph, you trying to throw a little shade?" I said, "Okay, Ralph." And so Ralph comes back. This is at halftime. He comes back again in that era. So this was before the game and then halftime. And he brings a guy over from Fox Television to say, "Hey, man, Ralph wanted me to talk to you. Felt like you'd be a good person to talk to." And from there, got my first interview with Fox, to do some TV stuff.